BBD burst into the music scene in March of 1990 with their debut album Poison, which quickly became a worldwide success and thrust its members, Ricky Bell, Michael Bivins, and Ronnie DeVoe, out of the background and into the spotlight. With their infectious beats, smooth harmonies, and edgy lyrics, BBD quickly became a household name and helped to shape the sound of contemporary R&B. In this video, we'll be giving you a closer look at the history of BBD, their beginnings, their music, and the impact they've had on the industry. So sit back, relax, and get ready to reminisce. Bell Biv DeVoe was a spin-off of one of the most popular and successful groups of all time, New Edition, who hailed from the Orchard Park projects of Boston, Massachusetts. New Edition was created in 1978 by childhood friends Bobby Brown, Ricky Bell, Michael Bivins, Ralph Tresvant, and later Ronnie DeVoe, with the help of their parents and their mentor, Brooke PAYNE. The group performed at gigs in the Boston area and was popular locally, known for their unique tone, near-perfect coordination, and Jackson 5 and Temptations-like choreography, courtesy of Brooke, who was also the group's choreographer at the time. When they weren't performing in local nightclubs and with other events, the up-and-coming group registered for talent shows, and it was at one of these talent shows that they got the recognition they had always been waiting for. In 1982, they performed at the local Hollywood Talent Night held in Boston's Strand Theatre, hosted by singer and producer Maurice Starr. The first prize was $500 and a recording contract. But even though New Edition came in second, Maurice was so impressed with their performance that he decided to bend the rules. He invited the group to his recording studio the next day, and they started working on their debut album. The group signed to Levi Belt Streetwise Records, and in 1983, they released their first album, titled Candy Girl. The album was a huge success, and 3 of its tracks hit #1 on the R&B charts in the United States and the United Kingdom. For the next 2 years, they released 2 more albums, went on explosive world tours, and it seemed like they had it all. But in fact, they did not. Around this time, New Edition began to have internal conflicts due to money issues and clashes between some members of the group, specifically Bobby Brown. His behavior was gradually becoming disruptive and intolerable. Finally, in 1985, the group voted him out, and they were down to 4 members, while Bobby went on to pursue his prerogative. Now a group of 4, New Edition continued to promote their albums, put out new records, and work on new ones together. Then in 1987, a new member, Johnny Gill, was voted in. Their 5th studio album, Heartbreak, was released the following year, and it was their most successful one yet. It was certified double platinum in the US, and the group followed it up with a massive concert tour in 1988. However, after the success of the album, Johnny Gill and Ralph Tresvant decided to take on solo projects. The group's producers, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, suggested that the remaining members, Bell, Bivins, and DeVoe, form a trio, and so BBD was formed. In 1990, BBD released their debut album titled Poison, which was an instant hit thanks in no small part to a team of amazing writers and producers like Eric Sadler, Hank and Keith Shockley, Dr. Freeze, and others. Their new sound and style exposed them to a new fan base, and the Poison album peaked at #1 on Billboard's R&B/hip-hop charts, charting for 15 weeks. The most popular and replayed songs on the album were Do Me, BBD, I Thought It Was Me, When Will I See You Smile Again, She's Dope, and of course, the title track Poison. In total, Poison sold over 4 million copies worldwide, and the band and its members enjoyed their success for 3 more years before releasing another album. Their next albums were Hootie Mac and BBD, released in 1993 and 2001 respectively. Unfortunately, neither album was as successful as their debut album, but Hootie Mac did manage to attain gold status. Because of their declining success, BBD took a step back from music and didn't release any new tracks for over 15 years. After that 15-year break, in 2016, BBD released the soulful single Run, which peaked at #7 on the Billboard Hot 100 and charted for 21 weeks. The following year, they released their fourth and final album, Three Stripes, which peaked at number 10 on the list of U.S. top R&B/hip-hop albums. In an interview on Vlad TV in 2018, Ricky Bell revealed that around the time of the release of the New Edition Home Again album in 1996 and the subsequent tour in 1997, he was broke and wasn't receiving enough pay from the tour to even pay his bills, and had become addicted to drugs brought on by all of these stresses. At the time of the interview, however, with his wife by his side, he stated that he'd been sober for 2 years and had turned his life around thanks to the assistance of his wife and her mother. Ronnie DeVoe echoed these same sentiments, stating to Forbes magazine about what happened after the Home Again tour. "It was very tumultuous. We weren't seeing eye to eye with each other, and honestly, at that particular time, the type of money that we were making and my bills and all of the above, because we were separated from each other, began to dwindle, even to the point of bankruptcy." But in 2002, Ronnie earned his real estate license, and in 2006, opened up DeVoe Broker Associates with a team of 25 agents. Michael Bivins, however, found success early, founding and executive producing groups such as Boys to Men, Another Bad Creation, Subway, and 702, under his company, Biv 10, which was distributed by Motown Records. In 2018, he purchased a $6.8 million 50-unit apartment complex in his hometown and is currently involved in other ventures in and outside of the entertainment industry.
In the meantime, in between time, Bell Biv DeVoe says, peace and thanks to the Lord.
In 2017, the highly acclaimed and successful 3-part miniseries, The New Edition Story, was released, and these days, BBD and all of the members of New Edition are alive and well, having just recently finished the 30-city legacy tour with other R&B legends Keith Sweat, Guy, and Tank.